We have our very, very special guest today. Brian Lottman is here with a love shower. That's what it says. Applause. Did you know that? Did you know you're going to speak today? Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go right ahead.
So I'll begin with a little song. This particular Aramaic mantra is an invocation of the Holy Spirit into the room. The Holy Spirit is the Divine Mother principle in the Christian tradition. So we're going to invoke that right now through these words, Ruka Dakucha. So you can say it, Ruka Dakucha. Yes, very powerful mantra to activate the Holy Spirit in the room. And so we'll sing it together. Ruka Spirit. You might find that what I share is sort of very mystical and magical and woo-woo. As an example, I'll show you something. Would you like to see something magical?
Yes.
I'm not going to make anything disappear or something, but it'd be kind of cool though. Candace got these. And I really I love flowers so much, and usually I get flowers to honor my spiritual teacher. When you honor a divine being, that being comes to you and blesses you. When I say divine, it's a being whose consciousness is everywhere. It's not a normal human being. It's a Christ being. And so kind of rare to find on this planet such a being who has broken through all barriers. And so when you offer the flowers to that being, they come and bless the flowers. So I'm going to offer them right now. So, I don't know if you could notice the moment that you offer something to the divine being, the whole room changes. Like literally the molecules of the air change, and it becomes, in this case, there's a kind of form of love and sweetness that occurs through that offering. And each object that you offer such a being has a different invocation, a different presence that comes through. So if you were to offer rice or offer food or whatever, each offering has a particular divine quality about it that changes the frequency of the room. So you just witness kind of something mystical. Maybe not everyone is able to feel the energy, and that's fine, but my hope is in time that as people soften, what do you call it, butter them up? Butter people up, that maybe they'd be able to detect spiritual energy. And sometimes, it takes many times years for a person to do spiritual practice and to keep tuning in before they kind of get the more refined frequencies of energy. And then these things really make sense. And then you'll love to come to spiritual gatherings and attune to the energy. And such a being doesn't need to say anything in order to explain spirituality. They don't. They are that which you are searching for. I call it kind of like a mirror into your own soul. When you gaze at the picture of the true enlightened being, you're gazing at your true self. You're gazing into eternity. And so our goal is to unite with the enlightened being, to become that consciousness which they represent. So literally what I just described to you is my entire path. Literally my entire path. It's that simple. Even when I go to see him in India, I remember at the beginning, and he was, he's got kind of a strong accent. He speaks all kinds of languages, but he's got a kind of Hindi accent. I didn't need to really understand. Just being in the energy was enough. And overwhelming, when I also sit with him, I can barely handle it. Like when I'm listening to him in meditation, I can only listen so far before I have to turn it off. I say, I can't handle the light, I can't handle the energy anymore. So, when the teacher, when you're ready, the teacher just comes to you, and you'll know. You'll feel it, you'll be able to connect in. It's almost like they send a beam to your brain and awaken something in you. In my case, it was a matter of love, actually. When I first attended his retreat back in 2008, my very first retreat with him in, ironically, New York City, the capital of capitalism. He was holding a retreat at a little bookstore called the East West Bookstore, which makes sense. Some people, you know it?
I know.
Yeah, we had about 60 people. I'd never been there, but I flew from LA to go see him, not really knowing who he was. And when he came into the room, I just had tears in my eyes, and my heart just burst. And that's called a sort of mystical experience of the heart. It's different than emotional love, right? Emotional love is, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. If you do something nice to me, I do something nice to you. It's kind of this emotional reaction of love. Whereas spiritual love is completely different. It's an endless, infinite presence of love that arises directly from the soul. So a person, to realize true love, I'm talking about soul love, you must be in an enlightened state. Otherwise, we're still existing in human love, which is fine. There's nothing, human love is lovely. I mean, it's like a step. We're taking steps. We love our cat, love our horse, love our goat, love our little rabbits. If you want to love animals, go to Candace's place. She's got all kinds of animals. You start out with little things like that. Maybe you start out something simple like a little bunny rabbit, because they're soft and furry and cute. You eat those easy things to love, easy things. You start out with that, and then you try to expand your love into maybe from rabbits to maybe people. That's a big step up. It really is. It's really, because you have to be aware when you start hanging out with people, their triggers will come out, and they'll bother you, they'll pester you, they'll trigger you. It just is how we humans are. It's hard to handle because everyone's got their own issues and traumas. I mean, tons of them. So, and you never know when you're going to trigger someone. It may be totally by accident. And you go, oh gosh, should I hang out with that person again? That was hard. So no, I'm going to open my heart and see if I can keep trying to awaken this heart to love them more. So you go with people and remember this. I don't know if you remember somewhere in the Bible it says something like, love thy enemies. Really good practice. In other words, enemies will be the ones to help you expand your love. It's easy to love people who are lovey-dovey with you all the time and never trigger you. Much harder to hang out with people who bother you. And maybe you don't even know why they bother you, but somehow they trigger. Just seeing them in their face or hearing their voice already starts to I don't know if I can handle this. And then you hang out with them, and maybe it's an awkward conversation that you have, and maybe you have to sit and just do some breathing. You don't tell them why you're doing it, though. Like, oh, you're triggering me. I got to breathe a little bit in order to handle this. But you practice kind of like just softening yourself, hanging out with those difficult people. That's trying to expand your love. And so I want to really kind of get to the point of what is spiritual love or true soul love. There was a great sage long ago in India, and his name was Yajnavalkya. He was married. Yajnavalkya was married to a woman, remember her name, but both of them were quite enlightened. But this sage was having a conversation with his wife and saying, it's time for me now to renounce all my material wealth and go out into a cave and, kind of go into meditation. And I'm going to give you all of our stuff. I'll give you the whole farm. Take it. all of our wealth, all of our cows, dogs, everything, I'll give that to you. And the wife looks at Yagyavulka and says, what are you talking about? You're going to go into a cave and you're going to take your knowledge with you. She said, I'm not interested in getting physical things from you, because those will end when my life ends. I want to get your knowledge. If you go out to the Himalayas into a cave, I get half of your state, and that includes your knowledge. So I deserve that. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he says something kind of profound to her. He speaks about love. He says, love isn't about loving your husband or your wife. It's about loving the soul within the husband or wife. Love is not about loving your animals. It's loving the soul within the animals. And so on, and so on and so forth. And the point he was trying to make is, real love is not going to be about looking on the outside and saying, oh, you appear to be lovable, so I'll give you a hug. The ability to have soul vision. Now, I love you because I love my own self. This is the key to endless, infinite love. It doesn't matter what the outside world appears to be, whether they're rude to you or angry at you or yelling at you or screaming at you or whatever. It's, do you have soul vision? And then you're loving for no reason at all, whatever the circumstance. That is soul love. That is true love. And then there's a realization, and this is kind of even more sort of mind-blowing, that everything in this cosmos is love. There's no other principle in the universe but love. And I am that. This is the power of love. And when you meet such a being who is illuminated with that consciousness, they are like a sun. And as I said, when I walked into the room at East West Bookstore and sat with him, I was overwhelmed with love, because here is a being that sees everything and knows everything to be God. There's no other. There's no me and you or someone sitting in a retreat doing something and trying to get somewhere. It's just only one love. And because of that, we'll say realization or understanding, I felt love. I felt that presence. I was stunned, shocked that this would even exist on earth, because normally in most circumstances we experience emotional love. So this was really edifying for me. And then, so listen to this, then a few retreats later, I go and I'm sitting with him with a bunch of other people who are devoted and all that, and they wear these nice spiritual clothes, and and I was looking around the room and I could see my mind judging everyone, like, oh, you think you're spiritual. Oh, yeah, I've seen your normal life. Yeah, and you come to this spiritual retreat. And I had all these sort of like ideas about each person and who they were and how they were. By the way, that's a painful state to be. And then they each started to go up to Swami Purna and bow before him. Now you may wonder, well, why would you bow before beings? I mean, because some people have a lot of resistance to that idea. Bow before the guru, especially in the Western world. People don't like that idea. But here's what happens when you bow before the guru. Let's say you prostrate and you humble yourself. That is actually an attunement to that being's consciousness. It's saying to the universe, I want to be fully attuned to you. I want to be like you. I want to become like you. It's a full honoring, so whenever you honor someone, you become more like them. So And then each person would go up, and I would have some sort of like comment to my mind about how they weren't just perfect spiritual person or whatever. And then as I was watching and watching and watching, suddenly, I don't know what happened, but a shift happened in my heart. And I just started weeping, and I fell in love with everyone at that retreat. And it just went just like that. It wasn't like I had to think of reasons why to love you. Oh, you have a beautiful voice, so I love you. But it's true, she does have a beautiful voice. But I mean, it wasn't because of something. It was just something cracked in my heart. And this presence of love overwhelmed me. And then as it overwhelmed me, I love you. That's an example of what you would call soul love. So I switched totally. And so that love, that divine love, which is endless, infinite, is called in Sanskrit prema. I mentioned that word the other night, Friday night. It's a very good word to remember. Prema. Sanskrit is a divine language. It was downloaded by great rishis in caves long ago. It wasn't created by English, logically speaking. It does not come from logic, although it's a perfect logical system. It came from rishis sitting in mid, like this, And suddenly the whole Sanskrit language just downloaded into them, and they just knew it. And then they wrote it down, and it's still chanted today, especially in holy gatherings to invoke divine topics. So this word prema you can use to invoke divine love in the room. You can call it forth, and in a sense manifest it. Sometimes it's hard for us in a state where we're feeling depressed or just reactive or unhappy to say, yeah, I'm going to say I'm loving, and just do some affirmations like that. I remember one woman who I stayed with, she had affirmations all over her house. You would sit on the toilet and you'd watch, you are flowing well today. Or whatever, like all affirmations everywhere. I mean, you could read so many affirmations and yet feel still stuck. Constipated or something, right? Stuck. So how do I break through into these higher realms of love? I'm sharing with you the key to unlock this aspect of your being that waits in the wings for you to call it forth. It's prema, prema. Simply saying the word each day. You can make it like a mantra. If I have my... Oh, look. I have my rosary, my mala. And every day, say, you know what, God, I really want to develop this soul love that I've heard exists. This endless, infinite love that's always flowing, that never judges. This heart is endless, open all the time, never shuts down to anyone or anything ever again. Please help me with that. And then let me chant prema to call that forth. Prema, 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 prema. And just take that as your spiritual medicine. And again, maybe if I was talking to a normal group outside of Center for Spiritual Living, they would think I was off my rocker. That could actually happen by chanting one sort of mystical divine word. But it's true, this word has been chanted for thousands and thousands of years in many spiritual circles as people who are striving to access these higher dimensions of love. And we need a divine force to break through the cement that covers our hearts. We need that. What do you call it? One of those wrecking balls, that hits the cement. That's the only thing that can break through the cement wall. Similarly, the karmas that surround the heart center block us from love lifetime after lifetime. And you can see it in people's faces, stuck, because they have no tool, so-called like powerful force to break through the walls of the heart. Why did the walls even form in the first place? Obviously, death in your family, breakups, divorces, all that stuff. That doesn't just, oh, gone. Generally, that does not happen. That sticks with you, usually for many lifetimes, not just this lifetime. Your spouse dies. It carries on and on and on and on with you. You need something super powerful to break through that sort of depression or blahness that clouds the heart. Boy, when those clouds part, you feel so radiant again, so alive again. Women or men or whoever will be chasing after you because you're so full of light. No problem finding a boyfriend or girlfriend. That's not a problem. It's too many of them. Because you're so lovable, shining through your eyes, through your skin. I mean, you know what I mean. You've seen people who are in that state. It's extraordinary. This is why I hang out with the enlightened being. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to conquer Brian's depression by myself. I knew I wasn't going to have enough spiritual power or consciousness inside me to break through. And I did not want to be stuck. You know, you talk to me, I'm impatient. What can I say? I don't want to wait another 100 lifetimes to get to enlightenment. I want it now. Enlightenment or bust. Should I walk around with a sign like that? So, of course, I would seek out the help of the great masters. And then, amazingly, you know, I met him in 2008. I had that retreat, which is a breakthrough in my heart. And then 4 years later, after doing his practices really seriously, 2012, then he asked me to renounce everything and start sharing spiritual teachings across the United States. That wasn't my idea. That was not, I mean, who really would want to do that? It's kind of uncomfortable. It is, especially at the beginning. You have a home, I mostly stayed in my van. I had a little bed. I was really proud that I put a bed in my van, you know. And at night I would sleep at a park or something on my bed, and I would take a little bath in the park bathroom or something like that. That's how I lived. Then I'd have a gathering the next day. I remember one time in 2012 or 13 or something, I said, you know, I got to round up some people to come to my gathering. What do I do? So I took my harmonium, I brought it to the corner. This is in Fort Collins, Colorado. I take my harmonium, I bring it to the corner of the street in the middle of the town, in the middle of Fort Collins, and I started playing the songs and playing, you know, different mantras and stuff. And people would just pass by, and most people would completely ignore, not even look my way. I'd be surprised if someone came up and actually started a conversation with me. Hey, what's that? What are you doing here? And I just would play, and I'd have a little sign that says, come to my gathering on Friday evening. In this place called Om Ananda. You know, that's how I did it. And then that Friday night, 2 people came. And I was disappointed. You know, because I come a long way. This is a huge effort to try to carry this energy across the United States, Canada, Mexico. I mean, it's a lot. And to keep attuned with the energy is even harder because it's easy to get down. Especially when you don't have a home, you don't have a family, you don't have like people to come back to, and this is my little cozy place, my little nest. What do? The energy is my only safety. So 2 people came, and one guy who came, it was a yoga studio, he knew way more about spirituality and yoga than I did. So every time she would ask a question during the gathering, he would say, oh, yes, I got the answer. And he would answer her question. I thought maybe he should be doing the gathering instead of me. So it was tough. And then, this is the kicker. after the gathering was done, they left a little money in the donation box, and I picked up my box of books, my backpack, my flowers, my harmonium, my yoga mat, all this stuff, and I'm walking outside, and that evening, thousands of people had poured into Fort Collins to be a part of this concert where all these people where there was a bunch of famous bands that had come to listen. So they were drinking beer and making merry. And I literally walked through a sea of people to get back to my van, to go back to the park where I was sleeping, to sleep there for the night. And that night, I lay in that van and I cried. Because they all wanted to go and drink and be merry and listen to bands. And 2 people came to my gathering where I was sharing the most precious spiritual teachings. And I wept. And it was the loneliest moment of my entire journey. And that night, as I lay in my van, I said, I am never going to give up. And here I am at CSL in Delaware. So man, talk about coming a long way. A long way. And people coming out of the woodwork and really believing in what I'm sharing. So I wanted to share that story with you. And then I wanted to conclude with one more song, if that'd be okay? Okay. So I should share with you a love mantra, since that's the topic. So remember, the word is prema. So the chant that we can do now is Premam Bol. Premam Bol. Bol means I declare. It's a declaration of love. You just say it over and over. Premam Bol. We try to make these as easy as possible. People will actually sing with me. So here it goes. You can sing it with me as you can. Premam Bol, Premam Bol, Premam, Premam Bol, Premam Bol, Premam Bol, Premam, Premam Bol. Just set the intention that this presence of love continue to flow through us through the rest of the day, blessing our life, blessing our friends and family. And so it is.
says intro Deb.
Yeah, we're.
You go, okay, fine. Then I intro Dwayne. It's you. It's your turn. I know. We are going off script.
Going with the flow of love.
We are off.
Come around this way. First of all, give me a big hug.
Okay.
Oh, hey, okay, stand over here.
Okay.
Right, no.
Right here.
Right here, that's good. All right.
Never done this before.
Good morning, everyone. I have the absolute privilege of standing here today next to someone who truly embodies what it means to serve in our community with a quiet, joyful heart. If you've been reading the newsletter this month, you already know that our June service angel is the wonderful Lindsay Rue. But having her up here in person gives us a chance to properly shower her with the appreciation she deserves. Even if her beautifully quiet, subtle nature means she's currently wondering if she can use her photography skills to magically disappear behind the lens. Lindsay is a vital force on SIVA Team 3. If you've ever enjoyed a flawless CSL potluck or a special event and wonder how the setup cleanup happens so seamlessly, happens so seamlessly, and I lost my place. Okay. Okay. Anyway, happens so seamlessly. You've witnessed Lindsay's magic. She's essentially our community ninja. You rarely hearing her making a fuss. But suddenly, the space is transformed and everything is pristine. That incredible nurturing energy extends far beyond our walls, too. She channels it daily into running her own pet and elder care business. And as a dedicated pet rescuer, she's already looking forward to opening her heart to another furry companion. The passion for giving back isn't just a recent hobby. Lindsay began her volunteer journey at the ripe old age of 6. She has dedicated most of her life to the Open Net Foundation for Childhood Diseases, a wonderful charity established by her father, Richard. Alongside her mother, June, Lindsay's parents ensured that philanthropy and generosity weren't just concepts discussed at the dinner table, but a lifelong family legacy. When she isn't running her business or quietly saving the day here, this Westchester University graduate is a true Renaissance woman. She actively takes piano and voice lessons, which means despite her quiet, she's usually is on Sunday morning, we might want to keep the stage ready for a surprise musical solo one of these days. She's also famous around here for her iPhone photography, possessing a beautiful eye for catching the perfect candid moments of the community. We must also talk about her beloved family in Chadsford and Philadelphia, including her brothers Jason and Kevin. Being that it's the end of June, we must appreciate the sheer spectacular efficiency of the Rue family calendar. Her mother is named June, and Lindsay, her dad, and her brother Kevin all celebrate their birthdays this month. I can only assume their household is just one giant, nonstop birthday cake marathon from June 1st to June the 30th. But Lindsay has a beautiful perspective. Has a beautiful perspective on the family outliers who missed the June deadline. Her April-born mother is her perennial spring flower. And her December-born Jason is her ultimate Christmas present. Lindsay, I know you wanted to express your deepest gratitude to your family, your friends, and this entire congregation for their unwavering love and support. But right now, the microphone belongs to us. And the gratitude is ours to give. Thank you for being such a bright, steady, and shining example of selfless service. We are so incredibly blessed to have you. Thank you. That's yours.
A little while to get out all that you think is lovely. You wear it well.